Part 1. Summary and Review. Summary. Melody Beattie's Codependent No More is a self-help book for families and loved ones of people with alcohol and chemical dependency. People who have loved ones with addictions are called codependents. Codependents are focused on taking care of and helping an addict to such an extent that they lose touch with their own goals, lives, and emotional needs. Codependents are not usually addicts themselves. They often feel that they do not need help, since they are not the ones who are sick, and are not the ones who are behaving badly. However, codependency leads to great unhappiness, anger, and guilt, and can make it very difficult for codependents to function or to have healthy relationships, even if a loved one becomes sober. Having a loved one who is an addict leads to long-lasting trauma. Codependents need help to address this trauma. Codependents tend to adapt a series of unhealthy behaviors to deal with addicts. They feel responsible for others and often take on a compulsive caretaking role, where they provide help even when it is not effective or wanted. Codependents lose their sense of self-worth and repress their own emotions. They may become obsessive and controlling as they attempt to keep the addict from using alcohol or backsliding. Codependents have trouble establishing boundaries. They often feel angry and depressed. Sexual problems are common among those who are codependent. Codependents are dependent on others, especially the addict, for their happiness, their sense of worth, and their sense of self. By giving others such great power over themselves, they inevitably make themselves and those around them unhappy. Codependency is a painful condition. However, recovering from codependency is less grueling than recovering from chemical addiction. To escape codependency, you must relearn the ability to care for yourself. This is liberating and exhilarating. In order to break free of codependency, codependents must learn to detach. Codependents need to realize that obsessing and worrying does not actually lead to control or stability. Detaching doesn't mean coldly retreating into emotional distance. Rather, it means accepting that it is not possible to take responsibility for the addict, and choosing to take responsibility for oneself instead. To detach, codependents need to learn not to be solely reactive. Rather than immediately responding in anger or panic to unexpected or painful situations, codependents need to take a moment to analyze and think through their own behaviors and emotions. It is also important to stop trying to control the addict, because addicts in the grip of addiction cannot be controlled. Instead of trying to make the addict behave in certain ways, codependents need to find ways to make themselves happier, or to do things that make them comfortable, and take steps within their own control. Codependents often get caught in the Karpman drama triangle, named by researcher Stephen B. Karpman. The triangle has 3 positions: rescue, persecution, victim. Codependents try to rescue others from bad situations or danger. Then they feel the victim is not sufficiently appreciated and move to the position of persecution and anger, chastising the addict for his or her failures. Finally, the anger will leave and the codependent moves to the final corner, which is victimization. The codependent feels unappreciated and sinks into resentment and self-pity. To break out of this triangle, codependents need to learn when not to give or rescue, and when to let other people take responsibility for their own actions.